Hi, it's Jane Mason here from Virtuous Bread. How are you today? I hope that you're well. Now, today, I want to talk to you a little bit about sauerkraut. Sauerkraut, right. So a lot of people started making sauerkraut. They started eating sauerkraut. They confessed that they kind of hated sauerkraut. And a lot of people would say, why am I ever going to make it, buy it, or even try to eat it because I think it's gross? And my question is always this: are you eating it raw? Like, are you eating it out of the jar? Because that's, unless you're super hardcore, and I kind of confess that I am, and I do like it that way, insane. Now, Germans, who arguably kind of invented sauerkraut, they didn't, okay, controversial statement, but nobody in Germany is running around eating sauerkraut out of the jar, okay? They're just not. Sauerkraut is the end product of preserving cabbage, which they had a lot of cabbages, in a way that kind of causes fermentation to happen, and the fermentation preserves the sauerkraut. And yes, the fermentation happens to have lots of good, yummy things that are good for you and good for your gut and blah, 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 but they didn't know about that back then, a billion years ago. Okay, they just knew they had a lot of cabbages and they had to preserve them to have something to eat until the spring. Okay, so let's be super pragmatic here. They didn't know about fermentation. They didn't know about lactobacillus. They didn't know about the biome in the gut. They had a lot of cabbages and they had to preserve them so they didn't starve. And the net result was fermented cabbage or sauerkraut. Now, eating sauerkraut directly from the jar. I'm going to do it now. Here it is. Okay. It's fine. It's really nothing to write home about. It's sour cabbage. So here's what you do. And here's what they're doing all over Germany and France and everywhere else in the world, by the way. You cut up some lovely onion. Okay? So I'm going to use some lovely, lovely onion. And you cut it up into little squares. Then you cut up some lovely, lovely apple. And in a saucepan, you fry the onion and the apple gently in some lovely, lovely butter. And you add a little, half a teaspoon of lovely, lovely sugar. Okay, remember, sugar is a flavor enhancer. It's not the root of all evil if you use it as a flavor enhancer. And then you put in the sauerkraut and you stir it around in the lovely, lovely, buttery, appley, oniony deliciousness with a bit of sugar. And if you want, and you're feeling positively exotic, throw in a splash of dry white wine. A Riesling or a Gewürztraminer would be delightful, okay? But if you don't happen to have a little splash of dry white wine, don't worry about it. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, warm the cabbage through, because remember, it's cooked already. And there you have sauerkraut. And all of a sudden you go, wow, all this time. Honest to God, you will love it. Honestly, it's going to change your life. Cook the kraut. Okay? Cook the kraut. That's the message here. Bye for now.